In my last video, I spoke about how I was going to teach, or well, attempt to teach how to play the game. Obviously, in Absolvement, you can see that the controls are in the main menu. It's just this. It's pretty simple. And so when you finally make your character, you're sent to here to this screen, which it can be pretty bland, but I do think that they are going to update it soon. In the top right, you can create your party. You can enter a server name if you want, public or private, so you can invite people if you want. And then the layer that you want to start on, obviously if you are on a new slot, you do have to start on 1. But currently on this slot, I have reached 10, which was what I reached on stream uh, yesterday as the day of recording this.
Which, by the way, you should totally follow the Twitch, link in the description and on screen, and subscribe to my YouTube, like and comment, thank you very much.
So we teleport to the game session, which is the dungeon, and we are brought here. This is the starting room with always 2 entrances. You can press M to see the map. There are 2 entrances, of course, with one being a dead end and the other having the ability to have a boss at the end. So, if we are to enter any of these rooms, you can see that we start fighting almost right away. The combat system is pretty simplified, but there is going to be a combat overhaul soon. Everything that the enemies have, you can also get. So basically think of it as you're fighting another player, if you want to think about it that way. After you kill all the enemies inside of a room, you do have the choice of 3 cards, and let's say that you don't like any of these cards, which currently I do not. There is a discard button here at the bottom, and if you are to discard it, you will receive a small random stat buff, which is really nice because over time that adds up into maybe having like 5 armor, which is 0.5 per thing, but it stacks up over time, you see. Plus 5 HP, so right now I would have a plus 10 HP per. And so we go through all of these rooms, killing all of the enemies, and at the end, obviously, like I said, you get the orbs, which gives you a bunch of cards, sort of like Deepoken's leveling system. And as I've said previously, everything that you get, the enemies also have a chance to get. So if you have a legendary item, the enemies can also roll a legendary item. Same with abilities, stats, and everything like that. The parrying system is pretty simple. You just have to time it. Well, obviously, because it's parrying. The combat, in my opinion, can get very overwhelming at times. During stream, we entered a basically death house of sorts.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is a death house, bro. Oh shit! Yo! Yo! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Yo, what the? He keeps chasing me
Already?
non-stop.
Already? No, I can't even
Help.
blame you for that. That's crazy. And it was kinda fucky wucky. So I'm just gonna be showing you basically what the gameplay is, and right now I've reached the end of the room. If I press M, there is no more rooms to go to. Sorry, I'm at the end of the dungeon. So at the end of the dungeon, there is a boss. Obviously he's a bigger enemy than most. He's stronger, does more damage, has more HP, and has a legendary weapon. Everything you can basically parry, every skill, every ability, every M1, and in turn, they can do everything back to you. So at the end of the dungeon, you are going to come up with this screen. It just tells you that the layer that you were on has been completed. The enemies that you killed is, for me at least, 5 out of 5, meaning that you can skip the enemies and go straight to the boss. However, I personally don't recommend it because you can miss out on a bunch of cards that can help you in the future. Now, if we are to continue, obviously this is an infinite dungeon delver. If you want to think of it in a indie game way, like outside of Roblox, think of the game Barony. It's a very small, well, not really small. It's an indie game that is an infinite dungeon delver like this. Go into a bunch of these rooms, looting up, and your goal is to just get as far as you can. It is almost exactly the same way here. All of the enemies past the floors that you're on obviously do scale as well, meaning your enemies are going to get tougher. Your cards that you're going to pull, I do believe, get increased, like the rate of getting legendary and epic items. So here is the boss right now. I've reached the end of this side. However, like I said before, there are 2 sides of a dungeon, and because I want to get stronger, I'm going to turn around here, and instead of fighting the boss, I'm going to go ahead and go back all the way to the beginning room and go to the other side and try to clear that side as well. What is really fun about this is that through all of the cards that you do get, you can, if you press tilde, see all of the stats and all of the potentials, or cards, as you can call it, that you get. And you can see that the Bloodletter's Katana has its own description, and it, because it is a legendary weapon, it has a critical, which you can use either R, or you can use right click to attack with. In my opinion, the Bloodletter's Katana is a pretty good legendary weapon, but I personally think that there are definitely better out there. In this build, it's a shadow build, and I'm going to be trying to go for a shadow build. However, I don't have any of that. The replayability of the game is extremely nice because, like I've said before, most games don't have the replayability capability that this game does. Games like Baldur's Gate 3 show off how you can have that replayability. However, after a little bit it does get stale because the beginning is the exact same. The endings, however, there's like 10 million, but it's essentially the same thing as this. It can get repetitive at times, but it still has the replayability because you can make as many builds as possible. There are like 8 or 9 different elements that you can choose from to go on that path, and you don't have to always stick to that. This is supposed to be a shadow build, like I've said, but obviously I have like a frozen uppercut, an ash stomp, which is just fire, quicksand, like from earth, chain pull, which just pulls in enemies, and I also have an arcane getaway. If I just click on a tile to teleport to it. Very interesting. Currently, I'm just going to be playing through the game to show you that there is actually gameplay here. This is still a pre-alpha build, but it is pretty fleshed out. And you can see if I go into their Discord here, there's a progress map of which you can see a new boss. I've shown you a boss of where it's just a normal NPC just sized up, dealing more damage, having blah blah blah, etc, etc. But this boss obviously is fleshed out. It has its own model, 150 bones, pray for the animator, and looks like it could fuck you up. And through this progress map channel, which you can find link in the description for their Discord, you can also find things like their new skills that they're going to be implementing. Like, for example, if I were to restart this, this is an ice ability of doing tick damage and freezing the enemies. Of course, I personally haven't seen it yet, and this has been pushed to the game updates already on the 8th of August here, adding all of these skills, including the frost skill that we just saw. This game listens to the players and actually builds the game based off of the players' input. And I really do love this game because they listen. A lot of games that I've played, I'm not gonna name any names, but there have been issues where games don't listen to the players. And it does get really frustrating because if you're fighting a boss and it completely overwhelms 5 people at one time, there's obviously something wrong with that boss. And through the tester polls, they'll ask, like, is the boss too strong? We've been having complaints about the combat system for a while. They're gonna remake the combat system. They're asking what's overpowered at the boss at the moment. And the issue was that the crit was dealing 3 times more damage than normal. And they'll listen to the audience. They'll listen to what everyone has to say. Anyways, honestly, that's about all I have to say, really. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I know it's pretty generic. Follow the Twitch on screen right now. You know, link to the Discord for Absolvement is inside of the description alongside the game link and all of that. And yeah, hope you have a good day.